Hey, how's it going, guys? Thank you for tuning in to VR Revelations. So, I just did a video a couple of days ago covering the political turmoil that is taking place right now in Peru. Now, for those of you that might not know, Peru is down here in South America. So, you have the United States up here, you have Mexico, and then you have South America with Venezuela inside there, Brazil, Chile, Argentina, and right here you have Peru. So, a couple of days ago, some pretty incredible stuff happened in Peru. The president there actually came out on national television calling for martial law to be implemented and saying that he was effectively dissolving the Congress immediately. And, this was a pretty shocking event because you could see he was sort of shaking while he was holding the document. And, people weren't expecting that. If you could imagine, the president of your country all of a sudden declare martial law. And so immediately the news went viral. It broke throughout the world. And it turns out that Congress actually held an emergency meeting, or they held a meeting, and they pretty much ousted the president, or they impeached him, you could say. But they removed him from power, and then they actually arrested him and they jailed him. So just today, I'm looking at the news here, and from a couple of hours ago, we have this footage of people protesting out in the streets. So when the president was removed by Congress or Parliament there in Peru, uh, they installed another president, meanwhile, and I forgot what the woman's name, but it is a woman. I believe she's the first woman president there in Peru. Not under the best circumstances, but technically she is. And so now they're having these protests, which apparently turned deadly, and thousands of people are asking for, the president that was put in while they hold the elections or they figure out what's going to happen. They're asking for her to be removed, and then the citizens are also asking for the Congress members to be removed. So they want to have elections for a new president and for representatives in Congress or the Parliament. I think it's a Congress there. Um, since I'm pretty sure it's a democracy, or trying to be a democracy, but um, yeah, what I think is happening here, immediately as I saw this, I thought, oh boy, they kindled that fire in the people, and now they're asking for change, and they want to have this change be done according to the will of the people, of the masses, which sounds good for democracy, or for the principles of democracy. Of course, in these situations, you always have the elite, and for some reason or another, you always see their downfall when you have this type of uh, revolution type of environment. And you might be thinking, well, it's in Peru, how does that matter? But again, we're seeing a lot of political instability, not only in Peru, but in Europe, even the United States. There's a lot of tensions politically, and of course, that is all prophetic. It is of it's not random. All these things are happening because it's building up, to a greater event. And so, yeah, it's happening in Peru. It's happening in other places throughout the world. People unsatisfied and protesting with the inflation that is happening worldwide and this economic collapse. And then with the tensions of, the war in Ukraine and these major superpowers, there's a lot of dissatisfaction and a lot of stress, a lot of suffering, throughout the poor people in the countries throughout the world. And in times like this, there's also, unfortunately, a lot of egoism and corruption amongst these people that are in power. Unfortunately, not all of them. I'm sure there's some good politicians, good-hearted people trying to be honest and help out, their countries as best as they can. But we do live in a fallen, corrupt world, so this is all the result of all of that. And yeah, it's pretty, it's it's kind of sad to see for the people, um, because you don't want this type of chaos in any country, right? You don't want, uh, the government to be vacant. Essentially, that just creates a whole bunch of chaos and greed and people fighting for positions of power, and can lead to a lot of deaths. But yeah, let's actually take a quick look at this video here from the Associated Press, who has some footage out in the streets of what is going on right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at this video here. Okay, so this is footage from Sunday. Thousands gathered nationwide to demand the resignation of the president that was installed. Hold on. So it says protesters are also demanding a date for general elections to replace Boluarte and Congress. So again, Boluarte is the woman that came in after they arrested the president, who was calling for martial law. And they're calling for her to resign, essentially. They want to hold elections to replace her. And Congress. So remember, Congress were at odds with the president. They actually ended up arresting the president because he tried to pretty much dissolve Congress. And then now the people, the masses, have turned on Congress also, and they pretty much just want to wipe the whole thing clean, and they want to choose their new leadership. So you can see they're using gas. They're throwing some sort of gas. And you got the police down here coming down the street with riot shields. A man lying on the floor there. Who knows if he got beat up by police. But it looks like he's being carried by other people, so... Okay, so it says here, Congresswoman Maria Taipe Coronado confirmed the death of a teenage boy in a remote Andes community as she urged Boluarte to resign. Okay, so pretty emotional congresswoman there, and again, it is Congress. I wasn't sure if they call it Parliament or what, but yeah, she was pretty much accusing them of being coup stagers. So she asked the current president to resign, and she was very emotional because of the death of that teenage boy also. So let's finish out the video here. It also says here, Congress suspended its session on Sunday after scuffles broke out between lawmakers. So they're pretty much all at each other's throat. The people are out in the streets asking all of them to leave, and they want to hold elections. So pretty chaotic. Essentially, the government pretty much collapsed. So not good. Okay, so a second protester that was 18 years old was unfortunately killed also in these riots. So, as far as we know, we have 2 deaths already.
Nosotros no somos ni comunistas, nada, somos el pueblo organizado.
Okay, so you have a citizen here saying, we are not communists or anything, we are the organized people.
Que queremos una nación libre.
who want a nation free of corruption, which allows us to get out of this underdevelopment of this colonialism, interesting there, that we continue to live in.
Que nos permita sacar y salir de este subdesarrollo, de este colonialismo que seguimos viviendo.
Well, very interesting here. It says Peru has had 6 presidents in the last 6 years, including 3 in a single week in 2020 when Congress flexed its impeachment powers. So, it looks like this political turmoil has been going on for a while, but, it's only now reaching that boiling point that where, it actually starts resulting in deaths and things like that. So, very interesting timing. Again, we're seeing things like this all over the world. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the situation in Peru and what you believe is going on there or what it will result in. This is VR Revelations. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you give the video a like and make sure you subscribe for future content. Thank you. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.